My husband isn't a hero dad. He just learned how to crop the camera so you can't see who he really is. My name is Rachel. I'm 32. My husband is Mark, 34. We have a 6-year-old son named Ethan, who is autistic. If you scroll through TikTok or YouTube and you're into wholesome family content, you might have seen us, or at least you think you've seen us. The channel is called Stronger with Ethan. Profile picture, Mark holding Ethan, both smiling at the camera. Soft pastel background. Bio, just a dad doing everything he can for his special boy. Millions of people think they know our story. They don't. It started in a way that almost felt good. When Ethan was diagnosed, I was drowning. Appointments, therapies, long nights where he screamed because the world was too loud and too bright. I cried in the bathroom so he wouldn't see. Mark suggested, what if we share this journey? There are so many parents out there who feel alone. We could help someone. He said it like we'd be doing something kind and brave. Set up a ring light, propped his phone on a stack of books, and recorded a vlog titled, "We just got our son's autism diagnosis." He cried on camera, real tears, talked about how scared he was, how much he loved Ethan, how he would do anything to make his life better. People loved it. Comments like, "You're such an amazing dad. Ethan is so lucky to have you. My husband walked out when our son was diagnosed. Men like you give me hope." The algorithm picked it up. He went from 0 to 50,000 followers in a week. I'll be honest, at first, I was proud of him. He seemed more engaged, more present. He started researching therapies, diets, sensory tools. The videos were mostly him talking and Ethan in the background, playing with blocks or flapping his hands. If it had stayed that way, we probably wouldn't be here. The first red flag was subtle. One night, I walked into the living room while Mark was editing. On the screen, I saw footage from that afternoon. Ethan having a meltdown in the grocery store. Bright lights, people, noise, he fell apart. In real life, Mark had kept filming longer than I was comfortable with. I grabbed the cart, tried to shield Ethan, whispered, "Mark, stop filming and help me." He'd said, "People need to see the reality." Now, in the edit, I saw what he meant by reality. He cut out my face entirely, just Ethan on the floor, sobbing, and Mark's voice, "It's okay, buddy, Daddy's here." Then, a slow zoom, soft music added over my son's screams. He spliced in a clip from later that evening of Ethan calm on the couch, leaning against him, with a caption, "He always comes back to Dad when he needs safety." I watched myself literally disappear from the timeline. I was there, sweating, shaking, holding Ethan's noise-canceling headphones, blocking strangers from staring. In the video, it looked like I didn't exist. Comments rolled in after he posted, "You're such a rock for him. Where's his mom? She doesn't deserve either of you. Single dads like this are heroes." We were still married. We still lived together. I showed Mark a particularly nasty comment about me and said, "You could at least correct them. Tell them I'm here." He shrugged. "People assume stuff online. I can't control the comments." "You could reply once," I said, "or post a picture with all 3 of us." He smiled, that tired, condescending smile I'd started to hate. "Babe, this isn't about you," he said. "It's about raising awareness." Awareness? Right. Twist number 1. He started staging Ethan's breakdowns. As the channel grew, Mark's content shifted. It became less, "We're processing a diagnosis," and more, "Watch my son struggle so I can show you how I fix it." He started filming everything. First time, Ethan refused to wear socks. First haircut. First time the fire alarm at school went off and Ethan melted down. But then I noticed something worse. He stopped avoiding Ethan's triggers. Sometimes he created them. One afternoon, I watched him set up the camera in the kitchen and deliberately turn on the blender without warning. Full blast. Ethan hates that noise. He screamed, dropped his toy, covered his ears, bolted under the table. Instead of turning it off, Mark angled the camera so you could see Ethan shaking, then said in this calm, saintly dad voice, "It's okay, buddy. Remember our breathing." He kept the blender running for way too long. Later, I saw the final video, titled, "Sensory Overload, Calming Techniques, and Lots of Love." Thumbnail, Mark hugging Ethan. Big bold text, "Meltdown." The part where he caused the meltdown, edited to look like it just happened. I confronted him. "You knew that noise would terrify him," I said. "You did it for content." He rolled his eyes. "I did it so parents could see how to help in those situations. We can't just hide every trigger from him forever, Rachel. There's a difference between helping and provoking," I snapped. He shrugged and didn't understand strategy. "This is bigger than us. Brand sent us some free sensory toys. Brand sent us some free sensory toys." Then he launched a Patreon and GoFundMe for Ethan's therapies. Kitsch, we want to give Ethan the best chance. Every dollar goes toward his OT, speech therapy, and equipment. I cried watching that video. Not from pride this time, from hope. Therapies are expensive. We'd been drowning in bills. If the internet wanted to help, maybe that was a blessing. Donations poured in. People wrote from all over the US, Canada, the UK, Australia. "We love you, Ethan. This is for your sensory room. My autistic son passed away. I want to help yours." Mark showed me the totals like a kid who'd found a treasure chest. "Look," he said, "we can finally breathe." Except, nothing changed. We still argued about paying for extra speech sessions. I still got emails from the clinic about overdue invoices. One day, a bill came marked, "Final Notice." I called the office, embarrassed, and asked if they had the wrong info. The receptionist said, "We've tried reaching your husband." The card on file declined 3 times. That night, while Mark showered, I opened our banking app. The Patreon and GoFundMe deposits were there. So were charges for new camera body and lenses, lighting equipment, a new MacBook Pro, hotel stays for collabs in another city, a deposit on a nicer car for filming on the go. I scrolled and scrolled, my hands shaking. Exactly 0 payments to the therapy center in the last 2 months. When I confronted him, he didn't even look ashamed. "This is an investment," he said. "The better the content, the more money comes in. The more money comes in, the more we can do for Ethan long term." "So right now," I said, "strangers think they're paying for his therapy, and you're buying yourself toys." He snapped. "They're not paying for nothing. They're paying to see his journey. It's our job to make sure that journey is watchable. Watchable." That was the moment I realized Ethan had stopped being our child in Mark's eyes. He was a storyline. Twist number 3. He lied about Ethan's condition for more views. Ethan is autistic. That's real. But he's not helpless. He can talk in short sentences, especially at home. He loves lining up his toy cars, memorizing dinosaur names, jumping on the couch. One day, I noticed a video notification. "Doctor says he may never speak. I'm heartbroken." In the video, Mark sat in the car, pretending he'd just left an appointment. Tears in his eyes, he told the camera, "The doctor told us Ethan might never talk. I'm trying to stay strong, but it feels like the future I imagined is slipping away." Except that never happened. The actual doctor had said, "He's behind, but we're seeing progress. Keep working on communication. There's a lot of potential here." Mark had twisted it into a catastrophe because never speak is more clickable than might take longer. In another clip, he told viewers, his mother is struggling to accept his diagnosis. "I'm trying to keep us together." Meanwhile, I was the one at every therapy session, learning visual schedules, sitting through meltdowns while Mark edited upstairs. The comments flooded in again. "Poor baby, he'll never say I love you." You're so strong for staying when his own mom can't handle him. Women always leave. Real men stay for their disabled kids. People thought I was the absent parent, while I was literally in the next room, sitting on the floor with Ethan, helping him match picture cards. I printed out the transcript of that video and brought it to our next appointment, showed it to the doctor. He frowned and said, "I never told you he'd never speak. That's not something we can predict at his age." I knew that. Mark knew that. TikTok didn't. Twist number 4. He planned a single autism dad rebrand. The final twist came from a place I wish I'd never looked. His email. He'd left his laptop open. A subject line caught my eye. Oh, pitch deck, Life with Ethan brand expansion. Inside was a PDF he'd been sending to agencies and brands. Slides with analytics, growth curves, screenshots of viral videos. One slide was titled, Future Direction, Authentic Co-Parenting, Single Autism Dad. There were bullet points of honest story about marriage strain under the weight of special needs parenting. Natural narrative. Mom couldn't handle it. Dad stepped up. Opportunity. Support for abandoned dads raising disabled kids alone. Another slide was basically my erasure, a fake timeline. Year 1-2, struggle as a couple. Year 3, mom eventually leaves overwhelmed. Year 4, dad rebuilds as full-time caregiver and advocate. A crazy story. We were in year 3. In a draft email to a potential sponsor, he'd written, "We're heading toward a very real, very raw storyline that audiences deeply connect with. A father holding it all together when mom checks out." Attached was a photo of Ethan asleep on his chest, my presence cropped out. At the bottom of his inbox were messages to a lawyer, just asking in advance. If my wife is emotionally unstable and I'm primary caregiver for our autistic son, would joint or full custody be realistic? I have a lot of video evidence of me caring for him and her losing patience. Could that help in court? He wasn't just using Ethan for views. He was using me as the villain in a story he was already selling. The night everything finally blew up, the camera was rolling. Of course it was. I walked into the office, holding printed bank statements, screenshots of his lies, the brand deck. "We're done," I said. "I'm pulling my consent. Ethan is not your content. I'm talking to a lawyer." He glanced past me, and I realized there was a camera on the shelf, little red light blinking. He'd been streaming. "Turn that off," I said. He kept his voice calm, that fake gentle tone he uses on camera. "Guys, sometimes special needs parenting is really hard on the marriage," he said, to his followers, not to me. "Rachel is having a tough time right now." I walked over and yanked the plug from the wall. "You don't get to narrate this," I snapped. "Not this time." He lost the gentle dad act instantly. "You're going to destroy everything we built," he hissed. "Do you have any idea how many people rely on this channel? How many families we inspire?" "Do you have any idea," I shot back, "how many times you've sacrificed your actual family to perform for strangers?" He sneered. "No brand is going to work with you. You'll look like the crazy wife who took away her disabled kid's support system out of jealousy." I stared at him. "If your support system relies on exploiting him and lying about me," I said, "maybe it deserves to die. Right now, I'm staying with my parents. I've already emailed his biggest sponsors with links to the real therapy bills and our actual doctor's notes. Requested takedowns on videos that show Ethan's face and meltdowns without my consent. Started keeping my own record of what life with Ethan is actually like, without monetizing his pain. I don't know yet how the custody part will play out. I know it'll be ugly. I know he'll weaponize every clip where I look tired or frustrated. But I also know this. My son deserves parents, not producers. He deserves privacy, not thumbnails. He deserves help, not hashtags. So if you've listened this far, I really want your opinion. If your partner filmed your disabled child's worst moments for likes, deliberately triggered meltdowns to get raw footage, spent donation money on cameras and hotels instead of therapy, and pitched a rebrand where you're the villain so he can be the single autism dad hero, would you stay and support the mission? Or would you, like me, decide that sometimes the most loving thing you can do for your child is pull the plug on the show?